What's up, guys? Philip at Trade Genius. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin for the upcoming week and what you can expect to see as far as Bitcoin price movement. We'll also take a look at the alt market and see how that's behaving relative to Bitcoin. All right, let's dig in.
Trade Genius.
All right, guys, weekly chart here. We have a high of 68.10 and a low of 61.51. So basically looking for a weekly close outside of that range. Okay, so just make the note on that for that on your charts. Any close outside of those ranges is probably going to dictate the next few weeks as far as which direction that goes. So close below, we're going down probably for a few weeks, or close above, going back up. We are still in this descending wedge that's currently in play. We did break above this trend line here, and that pretty much needs to move up to this level here at this point. But it's almost getting to the point where I'd almost just disregard that on a weekly level and really take a look at as we converge now toward the top part of this descending wedge, which we haven't really challenged in many weeks. Again, this lower trend line is going to be in play as far as any dips. Now, I know that we've had a lot of tests on it, and yes, the more you test a level, the weaker it gets. But there's been a lot of buy support that comes in here. So again, another dip down here more than likely will be bought. So I would expect an initial bounce. If that does roll over, though, then you need to be careful. So below that, the 5,800 level would be the next spot to look to hold. So that's the weekly look. Let's take a look at the daily. On the daily, we've just been seeing our crypto slingshots go back and forth here. Again, this is about as sideways as you will ever see Bitcoin, ever. So it's really what we've done here is we've just found an equilibrium on the between the buyers and the sellers, and that's pretty much it. Was this the last attempt at trying to push the price down? Last attempt by the sellers? Did they give up because it got bought right up? Remains to be seen. We're going to take a look at the comparison chart to the stock market too, so we'll take a look at that. But really the way to play this market right now, guys, is pretty simply on the 1 hour chart, which is kind of telling you how low the volatility has gotten. So here's a 1 hour chart. What I'm looking for here is a close above this rectangular zone. So get a close above this 64.25 level would pique my interest, because that's going to clear some support and resistance here. But sometimes what will happen is that this lower portion of this box is a clear support and resistance at 60, right above 6,400. And if you can eat through this area here, where typically you'll see stops run a bit and then dive back down. So there's going to be people that are going to attempt to short in the 64.20 area and then see if they can get price to pop back down. If we can bottom here, that'd be pretty bullish. Right now we're at 6,400 or so. So if 6,400 can hold through the day today and then move back up, that'd be pretty bullish. I think if we get back up to the 64.15 level again today, we may see some supply get eaten up here and the price could move up. So keeping an eye on that. But on the hourly, you see our slingshots, sell. I would just be playing this range on the hourly, and that's about all you can do until you get a breakout up or down. So that would be between 63.75, let's call that, and 64.15 approximately. So in between there, you're just buying or selling the bottom and the top there. All right, let's head over to the crypto fear and greed indicator. All right, guys, there's not a lot here that's actionable. Again, we like to see the dip below this 17 level, and then that first hookup is usually a buy signal. So nothing here right now that would be an actionable signal based on that. If we look at the chart of Bitcoin compared to the market, you'll notice the beginning of October, or since the month of October, Bitcoin's fared pretty well. What's happened in the past with the market is the market was dropping, Bitcoin would start to kind of follow suit. We did get a drop down as the market started to dump. Around the 10th of October, the market started to dump, and we saw Bitcoin actually catch down to it and then some on percentage terms. But then when we got that tether move, that BART move back up, we noticed that we've maintained that level and the market continued to sell off. So for the month of October, Bitcoin's actually been a better store of value compared to the US stock market. This is the kind of divergence that you're looking for. If this can sustain, you may see a return of the bull. Now, speaking of the return of the bull, beyond this week, what are we looking at? Well, all right, so if we look at our 4-day model, essentially we are still chopping, though we might start seeing an upward bias here. But again, we don't really expect anything noteworthy until we start getting well into November. In the middle of November, the timing would be we start seeing a decent move up. And one thing you can compare that to is, here's a pitchfork. Basically, this is your trajectory for Bitcoin. And you notice that we're in that zone here historically, this shaded band here, where price stabilizes and then moves up. It would meet this line, this trend line here, that's kind of had these touches here on this logarithmic chart. And you'd be looking at about October into November, actually, for this. If price was to continue to go sideways, be in that November time frame where it would hit it, and as it has in the past, kind of bounced off of it. So some confluence there as far as November timing. So that's currently where we're at, guys. Not a whole lot of exciting news, but the alt market has been showing signs of the individual names in the alt market. Keep an eye on those, because they are popping. We've had some signals fire off in the room, and those have been performing pretty decently. So if you want to check that out, go over to tradelikeagenius.com for those crypto signals. But as you can see from this last move up, the alt market's actually fared a bit better than the Bitcoin market, and a lot of that is because there's been some decent moves and some names in the alt market. I mean, overall, relative to Bitcoin, it's maintained the same price structure. It's just held gains a little bit better. So anyway, all right, guys, well, that's it for this video. A range bound market, and I think we're going to continue to see that. And I know everybody's tired of it, but this is part of the process when Bitcoin recovers from a big blow off move like we had heading into 2018. So that's to be expected. But again, there are some movement in the alt markets, and we've been catching those in the room. So that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Please hit like and subscribe, or ring that bell if you're on the mobile. And as always, we appreciate you guys watching. Take care. Bye.
Trade Genius.